Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions, 4 p.m. BST on a Tuesday. Paul Harvey is back in the hot seat. Today's going to be quite explosive stuff we're going to be talking about today in terms of black hat that's happening around rebates and some of the stuff that Paul is to come across himself. We'll go into in a moment. I'm going to share to the groups. Paul, do you want to let people know what you've been up to this week?
This week, yeah, pretty much I'm just pushing out our latest promotions into the chatbot. I don't want to say it here because it's a blatant call out, but yeah, pushing our latest promotions and doing right now, I think we have about 12 to 20 campaigns live for re-ranking campaigns. And yeah, and also a cool thing, and just heads up, we're launching our add to cart feature very soon. So you'll be able to track and record your add to carts in your rebates and stuff.
Okay. Add to cart.
Yeah.
So we know with the A9 in terms of add to cart, it plays a massive role and it has done for years. How does that cross over with being on the right side of Amazon?
So pretty much my goal in our ranking service is to achieve less rebates but better results. And the best result we've seen is basically just mixing in add to cart. So fewer fewer rebates with more add to carts. However, right now, I'm testing a whole bunch of things. I haven't got the ratio right. When I get it down, I'll be the first to call you guys because, yeah, that's a valuable metric which can help us save on rebates because rebates are too expensive.
Yeah. The thing is, we know is that with add to cart, for instance, this is for Amazon, it's a conversion. I mean, I've said this on the show a load of times before, but I always struggled with the biggest thing on a commerce site is cart abandonment, right? That is one of the biggest metrics outside your products. And do your products got long-term value of a customer? Can you get your conversion metrics right? But when you've got the dropout at the cart, it took me a while to get my head around it. That Amazon actually sees that as a a big or micro conversion towards the final sale, and it was looking at it from a different light. But and being big and develop the algorithm it makes sense is that they're not going to be able just to shift that metric overnight when they've built a long illustrious history around that algorithm, around one of that is its markers. But I'm waffling now. So let's get into you talking about how the fuck you found these guys and let's get into the explosive stuff.
Yeah, so this is a long story, so I might waffle. So
That's right.
Bring back in if I do. So a long story is that in Rankster is our rebate service inside chatbots where we offer to rank, which is great. But the problem is that for each and every single product we ran, we'd create a Facebook ad and then it'll go through a chatbot flow, and yeah, that's great. The problem is that the users that came through the chatbot flow, they weren't the normal users. For example, if I targeted people in the US, I expect to see US names, and most of them weren't. And it raises red flags. And we actually did a cross correlation between the demographics in the US compared to the demographics we're getting. And yeah, even though we train the targeting to approach US people of US descent, just based on their Facebook profiles, it wasn't the case.
Yeah, so, I mean, we on a slightly different tangent in the memes group that we get, we do memes. It's like a joke. So it's like you get a picture of Justin Bieber, and the name is Smithy Smith, and they're from where are they from? They're from New York, Florida. So we're on their Facebook profile. So yeah.
So and the problem was that when I ran these campaigns a few months back, it was very cheap. Whereas now, I had to actually hire an extra person in my team just to go through the Facebook inbox and untag, unsubscribe people that come across as spammy or not of the right descent of the country. That was the first problem, and we were spending a fortune, and to a point where ads weren't profitable in our place. And we didn't know what to do. And the worst part was, while I was trying to figure this out, we were targeted by scammers. They were scammers. And when we noticed they were scammers, and what they did was they used an Amazon UPS locker as an address. They create the order, we give them the rebate, and then the order gets returned. Amazon gives them money back, so they doubled up, get money twice, and that's the process is. And when we saw this, we didn't take action. We just blocked them from new deals. That was it. We just blocked them, and they took this as an absolute insult. They went after every single page of mine, and unfortunately, I used the same branding across pages, so it's easy to find. Ran across every single page, made one or two just complaints to Facebook saying this is a scam, they're stealing my money, something like that. I lost all those pages and in excess of 100,000 subscribers that I built over the past 2 years. And then to add insult to injury, he then emailed me afterwards, rubbing it in my face, saying, "You messed with me," and I won't include like the whole message, but he's pretty rude, and he cost us a fortune. So I was like, okay, we figured out a way to kind of like avoid the scammers. And now, when you're running a rebate flows, I actually would recommend everyone make sure you have someone in your team watching your inbox 24/7 to watch out for anyone that could be a scammer or a scam or fake profile.
Can I quickly just ask you? I should have asked the question earlier to be more context. What was the point behind the guy coming to you to gloat? Like, obviously, he's emailed you to rub your nose in it, but what did he get out of it? All you've done is stopped him getting some products. And we're not talking tremendous scale here, wiping out his business. We're just a small block, and you're not getting any new product. So what drove that? You got to the bottom?
I wish I knew. That's the thing, is like we went back every single rebate he got from us, and bear in mind, when we traced back, he had about 4 different profiles across that we tracked. And each profile had one commonality, so it'd be one email address or one name or one surname, directing, and all the accounts were all friends. And we said to them, only one deal for family, so don't play that card. And so I mean, he didn't lose any money. We gave him every single rebate, but then when we realized we're onto him, he knew we're onto him. He immediately just called that. And also bear in mind, we know his Facebook profiles. It's very easy to just us to complain and Facebook to take down a profile, but he'll make a new one relatively quickly.
Okay, makes sense. Sorry, go on, Indigo.
So I recommend to everyone, if you're doing any rebate flows, to look out for fake profiles or scammers. First thing you need to do, and my team, they have a whole checklist. First thing to do is look at their Facebook profile picture. Like, don't accept it unless it's a picture of someone. That's the first thing. If a picture of a kid or some meme or something, just ignore it. Immediately block them, so they can never see any of your messages ever again. Block them, ignore them. The second thing is, after that, cover image. Have they spent time on their Facebook profile? The cover image, they can see. Look at that. Next thing, look at their friends list. That's very important. Make sure they have more than 50 friends. And those 50 friends, what is their descent? Are they based in the US or the UK or wherever you're targeting? Look at that. And then if you can, look at their images. And all these things are hard to do if it's a burner Facebook account. Okay, can't they burn?
Well, they hide everything. Sometimes, when you're accepting friends requests, you just see a profile picture. They've hidden their friends, so you can't see those or previous posts.
Absolutely, and we actually created one of our own Facebook profiles under the same name as the brand to send them a friend request to check them out. We had to really go that level, and so pretty much after we did all this, still over 80% of the people coming through the chatbot flow were of the wrong descent. And here's the thing: they weren't bad people. They really weren't. They actually genuinely wanted a deal, but their name screamed fake profile. And here's a funny story. There was during the hurricanes in the Philippines, I was helping out, working for the team, doing their shift because they couldn't do it. So while I was on it, I was getting really annoyed because I was going through all the rebate customers, and then I saw, I forget his name, but like it was based in the US, and it was something like Henry Wu, something like that. I'm like, come on, guys, you know this name, it's not based on that descent. Come on, guys. You how many woos did you get that you've seen and come across that are scammers, like so on and so forth? I'm like, oh man. So I check out his Facebook profile. I click on his profile, his Facebook cover image. He's a US Marine. There's a US flag behind him. His wife just passed away. He left the US Marines to be a stay-at-home dad, raise his kids, and he wanted to get the toy, which was the Rebate. And what an amazing guy. I'm like, oh, wow. Here I am, like this checklist, and this is an ideal customer. So even when you have a checklist, you're still going to negate the wrong person. That bear in mind, like you can't always get it right.
Yeah.
So, so after doing all of this, I said, okay, like this is weird. Like I've spent a fortune on Facebook ads, everything. What's going on here? So then I noticed a few of these profiles. Then I said, okay, let me actually message them privately and figure them out, and so on and so forth. I messaged one person. They said, oh, I spoke to this person, this influencer, this agency, so on and so forth. And I said, great, let's do it. And they introduced me to this person who runs an agency. And we just got talking, and I posed as a typical Amazon seller. And I was now his first customer. He has many, many customers. And basically, what's happened is this, is in the East, there are a lot of Facebook training, VA training academies that teach a lot of these agencies how to run an Amazon business. Now, I picked their brain. I really did. They know way more than me about the Amazon backend. They really, really do. Their English may be horrible, but they are far smarter than me. Really, really. I can't even, it's a thing. They are smart. And so what they do now is they've been taught how to do all these things like rebate customers, how to find them, how to get them, all this stuff. And some of the things they've taught are black hat. Some of them aren't. But bear in mind, our perception of black hat is different to theirs.
Yeah.
And also the big thing is that all these guys can do some really amazing things. Like they'd be able to reverse 1-star reviews. They can give you a PDA or plan of action for when you're suspended, so on and so forth. And what's crazy is because these agencies, and a lot of them are from Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, and because of that, they have a different mentality to the US and the UK. They have like a hive mentality where they just share everything. Like, I mean, I don't know sometimes who I'm talking to, but that guy knows his stuff because it might be a different agent, but he's still very smart. Smart.
You were saying off call as well, they kind of infiltrate into masterminds and stuff. So they belong to a lot of the big masterminds in the space. Not everyone would know that, but there seems to be like this, I don't know, what's the it's like an underground network, isn't it? Which Black Hat is anyway, but it's larger than we actually see it for. And as you said, there's more of this coming out of, like we've always had it, like the upvotes, downvotes from places like India, Pakistan, and places like that, because a lot of people just assume as a blanket spread that a lot of the Black Hat comes, for instance, from China, but it has started to spread out across a series of different countries, and the trainings, like you said, with India and Pakistan is becoming more at the forefront of it. And things like the account annotations and stuff, like you said, they're coming up with the POAs, and they're clearing account annotations. So the POs go in and they're clearing and making sure people getting reinstated under the table. And this is kind of some of the problems that are going to keep coming up over time until Amazon puts the kibosh on it, for a better word. But go on, sorry.
So where was I going with that? So with these agencies, actually, then you go first. I lost my track of thought. Go ahead. Yeah,
no, it's just getting back onto the agency thing again, because the point I broke in at is that it seemed to have got a lot more ubiquitous. And what we were talking about is that your personal level of ethics, right? So I know people in China is like, Black Hat isn't Black Hat as we see it. It's good business, right? It's about, a means to an end, and about doing business and business as usual. So it all becomes woven into the fabric of the culture. But then I've got friends like Richard Wren, who's been on the show. He's like dead against like Black Hat. So for him, that isn't woven into the business and the culture. So it depends where you go with it. But I think the point we're trying to get to is that there's the underground network is starting to grow a bit wider now, and the sophistication's getting higher. And even though, like you said, by your own admission, the English isn't fantastic, what they're doing on the back end in terms of cheating the system and everything else, and having VA courses on this stuff now. You know, when it starts to get ubiquitous is when there's a VA course here for Black Hat, which is kind of pretty much on the open market.
And what's crazy is that the agents I spoke to, he gave me his Facebook profile. I was checking out his Facebook profile. He's in a lot of these inner
circles and stuff.
Yeah, he's in a lot of that, and not just like the small ones, the really big, expensive ones. And when I looked on his Facebook profile, I saw literally content I've been sharing over the past, which is great because he's following me, so that's cool. But like, if that means he knows what I know, and bear in mind as well is that I want to really emphasize kind of like the half mind. So if one person is in the circle or in a mastermind, whatever you call it, if one of them is in there, the whole agency, pretty much everyone from that community is in there. So everything is shared. And that's something that holds us back from being US or EU, whichever. We keep stuff private. We don't share. They just share.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So the next thing. So now I talked to them about, okay, what's the process? If I give you 10 rebates, how do you go ahead and get those 10 rebates? What do you do? So what they do is they will cold message between 500 to 700 people on Facebook saying, hey, do you want this Amazon product? And that's exactly it. That's the profile. We've all got those messages. That's them doing their thing. And you're one of 500 people. Now, you double that if you're selling supplements. That's how crazy. I mean, it's pretty much like cold calling. That's what they do, but now it's based on rebates. And now when you actually apply to them and take that rebate, great. You are now like saved into their list. And now their lists are their gold. Because they can now use these lists and approach any Amazon seller, approach any rebate service, use their list, and then even use their list for other lists. And then that kind of like that they pay each other to piggyback off the lists. And that's a thing. That's how they're doing these things. And what's crazy is I discovered is that now there's a whole marketplace built around rebates that Amazon sellers aren't aware of. And it's crazy. Some of the groups I went to, and it's not just groups on Facebook. There's groups on Facebook, Facebook Messenger, and Discord. Discord is huge right now. And there's some Slack groups as well, all built around rebates. And now this is crazy. The marketplace is so big that actually have now their own keywords in the Facebook groups. So that way, Amazon can't come across these Facebook groups or Facebook and ban them. So they never mention the word review. That's blacklisted from the group. They say like RVY or something else, or like ATC, add to cars, or something like that. They all these. I went to the group and I was confused. Like I thought I was reading hieroglyphics, and no, because they all use abbreviations, connotations for every single thing.
Yeah.
Now this is the interesting part. Now it's a marketplace, and in a marketplace, what are the two types of things? Good buyers and bad buyers. Yeah. And that's a thing now. I came across. There were two communities of about 20,000 strong where they go there with one of those Facebook group where they just list all the scammers that have been scammed, or the scammers that have kind of like either not paid on a rebate or maybe they were the buyer or vice versa. So now there's this group based 20,000 strong just based on bad people. So like now when you're doing rebates, you will get good customers with a dodgy name, and they're good, but now you will still get people the same name. They're bad customers.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous. Like, how do you know? And so great.
I was going to say, and the other thing you mentioned, of course, is that their attempt is to clean up their list to make sure it's not polluted. But pretty much any service out there, as much as they clean their list, it's got too big where they've infiltrated. So you're still going to get like the bad actors inside of these promo campaigns, because it's almost impossible to keep everyone out like 100% confirmation rate, and especially as this marketplace is getting larger. What was you see inside these VA courses? What's some of the stuff did you see in there? What you can talk about?
Basically, is that they're not teaching, or they are teaching how to sell on Amazon, but no one that can buy this course can really afford their first order to launch on Amazon.
Yeah.
So they teach you to be a VA, learn the business, earn enough money to launch your own Amazon business.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
that's what I was told to. And also like and also bear in mind, every single sleazy tactic we come across across like the shady gurus in our Amazon sphere is the same for them. They still have they have bad communities there. They have bad gurus out there. It's the exact same thing we deal with, but in a different culture.
Yeah. So top down, let's go through this because we've been running about 20 minutes now. We kind of covered the main core things. What are you doing, or what can people do to filter out a lot of this stuff and not get caught up in terms of the underground network here?
So pretty much, if you get a rebate, if you're running ads right now and you get a rebate from a customer and there's no return, that's a good customer. Save their details. They're a necessary evil that you will need later when you want to do rebates.
Yeah.
And what's painful is that the marketplace has changed so much that we literally can't give stuff away for free. And also, one thing I just want to touch quickly is that with the scammers, one thing that is also taught, so they're also black hat group, or black hat in their terms, like really bad breaking the rules. There are groups there that when you enter the group, they teach you how to get around search, find, buy, get around the instructions on the bot. And when you do the order, say to the rebate, say the seller, listen, here's the order ID. Please include an extra $5. And the seller will be like, no, but do it or I'll give you a 1-star review. Now think about this. As a seller, I'll happily pay $5. Shut up, get out of my way. I'll never deal with you again. But how many times do these scammers do that per day? So it's $5 for you, but it could be like, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 people a day. They do this in mass scale.
Yeah. Indeed. What else is people want to make sure they cover off in terms of this? Like filtering, like you said, it's always hard to check the profiles, but if you know enough about geography, you do know that New York isn't in Florida, and Justin Bieber isn't called Smithy Smith like we have in some of our groups. But on the reels, but what we're talking there, that when you're looking in isolation, what are the top key things you're looking for when you're filtering your list?
For the list, first of all, you want to have a name that comes across from that country's marketplace. That's the first thing. And they're aware of that, so pretty much there isn't a thing. Next thing, look at pictures and friends. Those are the two hardest things, not so much pictures, but friends lists. Those are the two hardest things for a burner Facebook account. And if they do not have a suspect account, 9 times out of 10, they're a good customer. But also bear in mind, a lot of his customers now, because of this whole marketplace around rebates, a lot of his customers feel entitled. So if they don't get their rebate within an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you said was, they will complain. And it's very easy for them to take down your whole Facebook page or channel you're using. So just a heads up, be careful.
Cool. What is the best way to reach you, Paul?
Best thing to do is reach out to me at some of the websites, so chatbots.com.
Cool. I'll be back here tomorrow, 4 p.m. BST. We're going to be doing the numbers for PPC on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Lazar Janella, Brent Zaradnik, and Jordan Marissa will be joining me tomorrow. And on Thursday, Joe Wrightsfeld will be coming back. We're going to be talking about some Google algorithm changes that are upcoming related to page load time on mobile sites and de-indexing. Very important. If you've got a Shopify site and you're not optimized correctly, you could be starting to lose traffic very, very soon. We'll go in depth on that on Thursday. Paul, lovely to see you again. I hope you had a great Q4, and I look forward to getting you back on the show. Actually, next week, are you about next week? We're going to do Seller Session 600, Friday the 18th.
I'm there for that. Listen, bring a drink.
The goal is to have 60 guests in 60 minutes. We'll see if we can roll that one out and put it forward for the Guinness Book of Records. But guys, back here again tomorrow. Nice short show. Hope that was useful for you. Take care of yourself and your family, and I'll see you again soon.